around 23rd Street with around Broadway and 5th Avenue. The Big Apple barbecue, quote unquote, block party that they had every year before COVID. It's gonna continue now that the pandemic is almost officially completely waned. But there was a barbecue there, like a festival where barbecue pit masters from all over the country come, and you get some real deal barbecue, like real barbecue as in like beef brisket, ribs, so forth and so on. So that is actually Madison Square. And the first Madison Square Garden was northeast of that. And it failed mostly because it's for several reasons, but mostly because it didn't have a roof. So during bad weather, everything was shut down. There was a second Madison Square Garden in the area, which was a little more elaborate, but it was also a failure. The first Madison Square Garden was funded by P.T. Barnum. Barnum as in the Barnum of Barnum and Bailey Circus. The second one, he also was involved in, but he had help by all the major heavyweights at the time, financial heavyweights, that is, Carnegie, J.P. Morgan, etc. Closed down in 1925 when a new Madison Square Garden that same year opened on the west side on 8th Avenue between 49th and 50th Streets. And it was opened by funded by a boxing promoter. It held 18,000 people, and this one was indeed a success. And the current one that exists today came about as an upgrade to that third Madison Square Garden that was built primarily for boxing events. The new Madison Square Garden opened on February 11th, 1968. And now, actually, city officials are having talks on possibly moving Madison Square Garden. There's been lately, for the past couple years here in New York City, big talks and plans for major renovation of New York Penn Station, which is built right into Madison Square Garden. For those that don't know, this process has already been started. If you've been in the area lately, you notice a change. Like when walking into and out of Penn Station on that entrance on the side of Madison Square Garden, it's like walking into some sort of gateway or coming out of some sort of gateway. So they're pouring money into this thing. Sports fans are dead against it, primarily Rangers fans. And, you know, it's definitely due for another upgrade. Had one in, I think, 1990, but definitely due for another one. Where they would move it, I don't know. They did move Yankee Stadium, so I guess it's not that far-fetched of an idea. But Yankee Stadium, they just basically moved it a couple feet over. I mean, am I right? Like, it's basically in the same spot. So we'll see what happens.